So because you're like the way you got your disability is a bit different. Like you wasn't born with it or anything. Talk a bit about how like you got your disability and everything.
So when I was 18, I was diagnosed with bone cancer in my spine.
Yeah.
So before that, like I was just a healthy teenager doing athletics and things. But then obviously I had a tumour on my spine, and what it did is it ate away at the bone, like around my spinal cord. And over time, like as it got bigger, it started to press on my spinal cord as well, and like started to affect like the nerves in my legs and things. So before they managed to operate it, like proper like hammered on my spinal cord. And like the one day, like I fell asleep in the living room on the floor, and like I woke up and I couldn't stand up. Like I'd been asleep on the floor, and I went to stand up and I couldn't, and I like pushed off the sofa and that, and just like nothing was happening in my legs.
Yeah.
So they like rushed me to hospital in an ambulance and things, and my surgeon operated on me and took the tumour out. Like they didn't know it was cancer at that point, they just knew I had a tumour. So they took it out, and I woke up the next day and like I could move my legs and everything again, and I was fine. Like and obviously they fused my spine as well. Like they fused about 3 or 4 vertebrae in a straight line.
Yeah.
So yeah, I woke up the next day anyway, and I couldn't. I was fine. Like I could move my legs and wiggle my toes and all sorts of stuff. But then like a few days after, I got a blood clot where they'd operated, like where my tumour was, and that like pressed on my spinal cord again and like gave it a second hammering. So they had to like take me back into surgery and operate and take the blood clot out. And then after I woke up after that, I was like completely paralysed from just above my hips down. It's like I couldn't move anything. Couldn't walk.
It was directly to do with the cancer, but like it was to do with the operation.
Yeah, kind of. It was like they both sort of like attacked my spinal cord, or like just pressed on it really and squashed it and damaged the nerves. But like yeah, the tumour was the cancer was the tumour, and that was what was pressing on it. So it got left for a while because obviously like I was an athlete, so they just thought I'd strained muscles in my back and stuff. And then eventually I got scans, and then they found out it was a tumour. But this was like a year later, so obviously it had progressed and like grown and things and started to press on my cord. But like they ended up rushing me into hospital before they'd done the biopsy to find out if it was cancer or not, because it was starting to paralyse me, like it's pressing on my leg, on my cord.
And also, wasn't you saying like that it was like years, like because you had backache or like something for years, and like you just said like they thought it was because you were an athlete, but years like you had this backache, and that was.
Yeah, it was about a year. Like it was probably just over a year, because I used to do like winter training and stuff, and then I'd compete through the summer. And I remember having like back pain like the one winter while I was training, and then that summer like I competed and jumped and things, and it was quite like I had pain, but it wasn't really bad. And then like the next winter when I started training again, like it really hurt, like it was starting to really hurt, and then it started to affect me more, and that was about when they started to like get scans and things.
Was that hard for you to like stop, like come to the realisation that you had to stop your athletics, because obviously you was well into it?
Yeah, it was really hard. Like it was weird. Like high jump was all I did. Like I wasn't really interested in school and things and like lessons.
Okay.
But I was massively into PE and like my high jump obviously. So I trained like 3-4 times a week, and then competed, and I was Midlands champion. So like I was like top 10, top 5 in the country.
Oh.
But obviously like the tumour hit me, and then I couldn't like walk or anything after that. So like the high jump was a massive part, but at the time it was more like, well actually I'd rather just like get back to walking, or like be able to get out of bed at the moment. So like the high jump was a massive thing, but I don't think that properly hit me until I was like months out, and I was starting to like get out into a wheelchair and starting to walk a bit and things like that.
So like, is there anything like now that you, because like obviously you're quite independent and that, but is there anything that you struggle to do, like ability wise? Like
mainly I'd say my walking is a big thing, because obviously like I'm still like, I'm not back to how I was before. Like I still can't like feel most of my legs and like use all the muscles and stuff. So I'll walk with like a walking stick and splints and that. But yeah, it's mainly my car, I'd say, and it gets me places and things. And yeah, like when I was like just after I was ill and I went into a wheelchair, like I hated it and I didn't want to be in a wheelchair and things. But now I'm a few years out, like if I have to walk around town or something or go out shopping for the day, sometimes I find myself thinking like, you know, I wish I just had like a manual wheelchair or something.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you would be quite happy, like go around in a manual wheelchair now?
I think so, yeah. I don't think I'd use it all the time, but if I went out shopping for the day or something, like I get really tired really quick, like walking around, and I think I'd be like, it'd make me more able if I had a chair.
Yeah.
But again, a part of me doesn't want to like get one.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like the athlete bit in me. Thinks like, well, if I tried harder and like worked out, like it's always going to be hard for me to walk. But like I'd probably build my stamina up and be able to do it.
Like, because I think about this a lot, and like I always say to people when they say like if like there was a medicine or whatever to cure your disability, would you take it? And like I always say no, because like I don't know anything different. So say if there was something that could help like to make you able-bodied or like not have your disability, would you take it? Well, yeah, would you take it? Like, because people think it's crazy when I say that to people, but like because I want to know your perspective, because like I've had it all my life, so like I don't know any different. Do you know what I mean? And it's just another thing that makes me me. Whereas you've seen. I always think to myself as well, it must be horrible for people like yourself who have disabilities later life, because they know what they're missing out on. Do you know what I mean? They know what it's like to be able-bodied. They know what it's like to do high jump and like do all these sports and do things that I could never do. So like to then.
But I'd flip it round on you and say, like, I've had the chance to do all those things.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like it'd be harder to never be able to try that, or to never like get to that stage of doing high jump and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I see it as I've done it and it's an achievement that I'll always have. Like it's like a medal on my stand or whatever. But like for you, like you'll have never done that. So I guess it's like you don't miss what you've never had, whereas like I don't miss it because I've had it. If that makes sense. Like I've already done it. So, but like going back to if there was a pill like that I could take and it'd make me like able-bodied again and be able to do everything, I think I'd take it now, so it'd make me able-bodied, but I'd never get rid of like having a disability, if that makes sense. Like
like you'll never get rid of like
if it was a case of going back in time and say never having my disability, then I'd say no way. Like I always want it and want that experience because it's made me who I am. But like if there was like a pill or surgery or whatever that would make me like be like perfectly able-bodied again and be able to do high jump and stuff, then I'd take it. Because I feel like I'd still be me. You'd have all my experiences, but be more able.
Would you say well, obviously you might have because you're disabled now, but like, would you say you had a different mindset towards people with disabilities than what you do now? And obviously there's age as well. But
I mean, I'd say yes, but mainly just because I was never like around any disability, if that makes sense. Like I was in a mainstream school and I don't think there was like, I don't ever remember seeing anyone like disabled there or like using a stick or in a wheelchair or anything. So I never really like had that experience to like talk to someone or be friends with someone. Like, and no one really in my family's disabled other than me. So it's like.
So I've talked about this on the other ones, but on the channel as a whole. But do you think that there should be like an example I used was like when there's, for example, the media is a massive part in like spreading like awareness because of disability. But what really annoys me is when like you have they make a program that was centered around the person with a disability, and it always seems very like well, not patronising, but it always makes the person with a disability out to be someone special, or like no, just not a normal person. And like what I was saying is that they should be like someone who, say, like on a normal TV show like The X Factor or just anything, a normal TV show, there should just be a presenter who's disabled, you know what I mean? Or just more in the way of like just people who happen to be disabled, that like their disabilities are made like a big thing, like that's not the main focus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Like, I've got issues with this because, like, for me, like, if they're talented, like if they're a talented presenter or whatever, with whatever they do, then yes, they should be in the media. But I feel like it's disabled people actually that say like, oh, there should just be more regular disabled people in the media.
Yeah.
But I don't like, no, that's wrong, because you don't get everyday non-disabled people in the media. Like, they're good presenters and they're good athletes and they're all this thing, but it's like, oh, disabled people aren't represented unless they're like a Paralympian or something.
Yeah.
But I feel, well, yeah, true. Like, they're a Paralympian, they're an inspirational person. Like, they've achieved something that not like other disabled people can achieve, let alone like able-bodied people. Yeah. So, like, to me, it's like...
I've not thought about that, but that is right. Like,
like if you look at Breaking Bad, for example, like the guy in that's got CP, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like cerebral palsy. But he's a wicked actor as well. So yes, he should be in like Breaking Bad and in films because he's a wicked actor.
But like, I've not watched Breaking Bad, but I know like the actor. Like, I don't know anything about Bishop, but I do. But like, but is he just there? Yeah. But like, what I'm saying is he's an actor in a show that's nothing to do with disability. So like, that's good. Yeah. Whereas when you see like news items and like just shows in general, like The Undateables, yeah. I mean, I really like The Undateables, but that's a better example. But The Undateables is like a show based around disabled people getting into relationships and things, but that's the main focus. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I completely get what you're saying, and he's right. But there has to be like more disabled people, like, because like for example, me and you, that with a physical disability that can also like present and like just as well as the other people.
I'm sure there is an aspect to that. Like, there might be that they're being held back or being discriminated against or whatever. But for me, like, unless there's the role in the program, like for like a person, unless the character's got CP, then try and find an actor with CP to play it, because no one's going to be able to like act it better than someone who's living it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But then sometimes, like, if it's someone that's acquired a disability like me, say if you were going to do a film of my life, I wouldn't be able to play me all the way through it because I can't do the able-bodied bits. Yeah. So just for like continuity and stuff, like if you have someone that's like the Stephen Hawking film or whatever, like they couldn't get someone like with a condition to play Stephen Hawking because he wouldn't be able to do the bits before he was disabled. So I think it's like really specific roles and things that for a disabled person to act in, like, unless that's their character.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's a really good point. like I was like, yeah, John, that's a brilliant point. but thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you do subscribe over there. On Chris's face it'll probably land. Also, you can watch another video here if you want to. I might put the other disability talks there, I'm not sure. I might put something else. But thanks for watching, thanks to Chris for sharing his story, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.